Good afternoon, good evening. It's your boy Jay, Real Talk with Jay. Today I'm sitting down with a special guest of mine, man. We've been trying to do this for a long time, man. He's an author, he's a justice reform advocate, he's a speaker. He was also wrongly convicted, set to do 15 years. And somehow he's sitting here and he's in the law library. With no further introduction, my homie, Tribe Ackon.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
What's good, big dog?
I'm alive.
Man, so how's your week been, man?
It's been great. It's been great. Doing well.
Uh-huh.
Doing some good numbers on the book.
Yeah.
Trying to get the message out to people. It's very important
It's
to them to
it's
to have
very
this.
very important, bro. Like I've known you for a while, dog. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump into this. All right.
Mhm.
Now take me back to the moment where your life changed. The moment you were arrested and what you were thinking. I need to know.
Well, back in the day, I was actually, like kind of in the streets a lot,
Hmm.
and I used to living in Port St. Lucie, kind of getting into little things here and there, and I used to really kind of, sell little drugs here and there just to get by
Hmm.
and stuff. So, like I was always getting into little trouble here and there,
Hmm.
you know, just here and there. So, what happened was, I guess they raided my house.
Okay.
Yeah, they raided my house, but
That shit crazy.
yeah, but the cops, they never really could find anything on me.
Uh-huh.
It was always, they can never really find anything.
Just kept
So
missing you by this much.
yeah, by that much, pretty much. So when they finally raided me there, I guess they
Uh-huh.
really wanted to have something on me. So
Hmm.
what they did was they planted a box of ammunition
Hmm.
during the raid.
Wow.
Yeah, they planted that box of bullets during the raid.
Hmm.
And so what happened was, I went to court over the drug charges and everything like that, and I beat the drug charges, but they found me guilty for the box of bullets
Hmm.
and all white jury. So, and they gave me 15 years for it.
15 years for it.
Yep.
So what was you thinking like at that moment when you got arrested? Like what was going through what was the process in your mind like?
Well, I was kind of like, oh, yeah. I was just kind of like, dang, it's really happening. Like I'm being arrested and everything like that. But it was just an arrest. It was just another arrest. I figured I'll get up out of this situation also because I didn't
Mhm.
have anything really.
Usually if you find a box of bullets, there's a good chance there's a gun nearby, right?
Absolutely,
There was no
absolutely.
guns
There was
nearby.
no gun. There was no gun.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't even know where they got the bullets from, to be
And
honest. They must have really wanted me.
that-
They must have really wanted me.
Oh my God, man.
I mean,
So
yeah, today.
okay. Now take me to the day in court when you got sentenced. What was your mental like leaving that situation?
Well, I mean, when I got sentenced, actually, um, when I got sentenced, they offered me 5 years probation.
Hmm.
They offered me 5 years probation. I was facing a total of 42 years.
Wow.
So they offered me 5 years probation. I turned down the 5 years probation.
Hmm.
I
You turn it down. You turn five
turned it
years
down
down.
5 years probation.
Looking at looking up 42. You
42.
turn
I
five
turned
years
5 years
down.
down. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Because I was pretty confident I was going to beat the case. And I guess they found me guilty for the bullets. So then they wanted to give me, it's funny too, because when I was in prison, I was the laughing stock in prison.
Hmm.
Like everybody was all clowning me and everything, saying,
Hmm.
"Oh yeah, you caught. How you get 5 years? How you
How you
turn
gonna
down
turn
five
down
years
5 years before looking at
probation?
42?
Exactly. How you turn down 5 years and get 15? Like you got to be an idiot to do something like that.
Hmm.
But in the long run, lucky I didn't take that because
Yeah.
I'm here. So
Okay.
mhm,
So what was the you in prison,
mhm,
right? Now your mental and emotional was all over the place.
yes.
What was the turning point in prison that made you decide I'm going to fight this myself?
Well, I went to confinement. I spent about like 70 days in confinement. And it's funny too, man, because like in confinement, I wake up and I hear like somebody else down the hall and says 674 more days. I'm like, what? Yo, I went back to sleep over that. Like, I had to go lay down. Like, nah.
He said 672
Yeah,
more days.
yeah. I was like, yeah,
Wow.
nah, I can't do that. So just sitting in there, just trying to. I'm like, man, this can't be my life right here.
Hmm.
I'm doing prison. I'm in prison underneath the prison.
Mm.
Like this can't be my
That's
life, man. Something's
crazy.
got to change. Something's got to change, man. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna lay down here, man. I got to do something. I got to get up out of here. Find a way to get up out of here. So then I finally got out. When I got out the box,
Mm-hmm.
I went to the library.
How long they kept you in the box for?
About what, 78 days?
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I went to the law. I went to the library.
How was that reform? They put you in a box for 78 days.
Yeah, man. Like imagine counting all the dots.
My God.
counting
Bro,
counting every brick.
that's crazy.
Yeah. And you know the painting on the wall. So you know those
Mm-hmm.
little bubbles. I counted every single
Second
bubble.
one. That must.
Backwards.
What did you do while you were in the box to keep your mental stability?
Pray.
Yeah.
Pray, yeah, and then we used to helicopter books to each other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of slide books down to each other and stuff like that. So
So you guys built a support system.
yeah, we had to.
That's
we had
crazy,
to,
man.
talk, rapped and everything like that.
Yeah.
Build on knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was in the box. I mean, you shower what, twice a week?
God.
Yeah, it's rough. It was kind of rough in there, you know.
Twice a week, bro.
Yeah, and it's hot. And in Florida prisons, it get real hot in
Uh-huh.
there. So like we used to pour water on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and like lay prone on the floor.
On the water.
On the water, yeah. Because it's so hot. It's so hot, man. And they're not doing anything about the AC system in there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really care.
Yeah,
The
that's
government don't really
crazy.
care about people in prison.
That's our tax dollars at their best, baby. That's our tax dollars at their best, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to get that because when you said the box, I was like, I
Also,
can
what
imagine.
happened- So now what happened was I went to the library,
Mhm.
right? So I'm reading the OK Weekly magazine with Angela Jolie and Brad Pitt breaking up, right? 'Cause I remember what was in it. And I mean, I'm reading it, right? And I looked behind me, and then when I looked behind me, I saw a bunch of law books on the wall. And the only place I seen those books was Morgan and Morgan, and like those commercials.
Mhm.
And the John
And the John
Levine,
Levine.
call us now, like they're standing there, and they got the 1-800 number on the bottom of the screen. So I walk over there, and I was like, let me go check this out real quick.
Right.
And there's a guy named Mr. Baker. I'll never forget him. Ronald Baker,
Uh-huh.
good dude. So he shakes my hand. He looks at me. He shakes my hand, right? And it just keeps shaking it. Keeps shaking. I'm like, yo, okay, hold up. Give my hand back.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, you
hey,
in the wrong. We in the wrong setting.
Exactly. We in the wrong setting. I'm like,
For
yo,
a
hold up.
30-second handshake, big
Yeah.
dog.
So I was like, yo, give my hand back. What are you doing? He goes, no, listen, I see something special. Hold on one second. Hold on.
You're
So
like, you
he
ain't getting me.
Yeah, still. So he walks over to the books. He walks over to the books and pulls out one of the books. And he says, listen to me. He has the book in his hand like this. He says, listen to me. There's no excuse for ignorance of the law. Slaps it on the table. And he walks off. I was like, okay.
Drop the dime on you
I
and
don't
let
know
go
what you
away.
meant by that. So I'm over here looking at the
Yeah, with the book up. Can't knock it down. It's okay. We
Absolutely.
got more copies for y'all. We're gonna let you know where to get them at in a little bit.
So I'm looking through the book and everything like that, and then I was like, you know what? I really need to kind of learn this and everything like that. So I started learning and everything like that. And started, going through the process of filing motions and stuff like that, and getting into it. And that's what happened. That's what happened.
Damn.
And he called me to classification July 15th, 2009. He called me to classification. I was like, Mr. Ackon, yeah, we apologize. Kind of found out you wasn't guilty to begin with. You don't qualify for the $100 you get when you get out of prison. You don't qualify for the one-way bus ticket in the United States. It's called 5 crispy 20s. And you get the one-way bus ticket anywhere in the United States. They said you don't qualify for that, so we're just gonna let you out the gate. So
God.
and you can't go back upstairs to grab your stuff because you're considered a lawsuit in the prison system. So I was like, it was like, okay, so I need you to sign right here, right here, right here. I just looked at the paper. I said, I'm gonna be on CRD. I gotta go report probation in 24 hours. This and that. I'm like, yeah, nah. I said, I came in here innocent, man. I'm leaving innocent.
That's what's up.
That's what I told them. And she was in complete shock. So then she calls the head of Tallahassee. I can't remember his name, but back then, the head of Department of Corrections. And he calls him, and he says, it's a vacated sentence. So he just signs a piece of paper saying he's released, and just make sure he's released like immediately. And that's what he was saying to her. So then she goes, okay, no problem. Hangs the phone up, and hands me she goes, okay. So she scribbled out everywhere she wrote that at. So okay, I said, nah, I need your initials right here, right here, right here. Y'all will catch me like that.
Hell no.
I still have that paper to this day. So she laughed about it and everything.
You kept all your documentation.
Absolutely. I had to.
That man keep all his receipts.
So yeah, man, when they released me, man, they gave me a bag full of clothes, a bag full of books, man, and like, it was weird. It was weird walking.
Yeah, walking out.
Yeah, it was weird.
What was your toughest challenge through the process?
It was just missing home, missing my kids.
Okay.
I miss my kids, and knowing that like really like I'm really doing this much time over a box of bullets, man. That was like seriously like how was like I know people in there, and everybody left my side.
Hmm.
Everybody was gone. I know people that said there's a bench that they have in there, right, where everybody uses the phone. They
Hmm.
line up on the benches after they use it. Somebody else
Yeah.
slide over, and they use the phone. And I was never really able to use that phone to call anybody. You know, and people had life sentences. People had like 7 life sentences, and they're able to call home and talk to people and
Why
everything.
wasn't you allowed to call?
Well, I mean, everybody kind of just abandoned me. Like my life is, yeah, my
Damn.
life is over. Like everybody just kind of left me in there. You know, so like not having family or anything like that, I was like, I'm not gonna die here.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna die here, but I gotta fight my way up out of here. So whether I gotta kick or scratch, whatever I gotta do, you know.
Okay. Another question. When did you hear that Akron versus State is now in the legal library? How did you feel when you heard that?
Well, it's funny too because like I was using other people's case laws to come
Hmm.
home, like Daniels versus State, Aguilar versus State.
Hmm.
You know, these are like these, and it's funny too because I had a dream I met Daniels versus State. You know, you
Yeah.
know it's weird. Really his case law was different. See, the Daniels
Uh-huh.
versus State case law was about a rental car
Hmm.
that I guess he found a gun in a rental car. He wound up catching 15 years for it.
Hmm.
So that was what that Daniels versus State. He got it overturned too, you know, because it wasn't his. You know, it was a rental car.
Hmm.
So he got it overturned. And I used some of his, some things that he said in there, I used it in my motion.
What led you to those cases, though? That's what
Well,
I
you
need to
gotta you
know.
gotta read
You
the
just got to read
Westlaw.
it.
Yeah, Westlaw.
It's a lot of books.
Yes, it's a lot.
So for you to pinpoint the ones you, especially for somebody that hasn't studied law,
Yes.
it's something had to lead you to exactly which ones and how to.
Yeah, you have to dissect your case
Uh-huh.
and see what people went before you and what they did
Mm.
in their situations.
Okay.
You know, and then like start picking out of those,
Hmm.
and then find out the Florida statutes on these cases, and that's pretty much what you got to do. I mean, you just got to go in there. You just got to learn. You got to study it. You know.
How many hours did you say you put in the law library?
Uh, say about I couldn't even tell you a year and 9 months worth. A
Because the funny thing is,
year and 9 months.
he's home now. He's still in the law library.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still in there. I'm still in there. I
What
like
you
to,
doing? I'm at the library.
yeah, I like to learn law.
I'm
I
at the
like the law,
library.
you know. And you know, they have computers in there. Like they have computers in there. A lot of people don't know that it's $75 a month for Westlaw. You
Hmm.
know, to actually study case laws.
Hmm.
It's $75 a month, but you can get it for free on Google
Mm.
Scholar.com. A lot of people don't know that.
GoogleScholar.com.
Absolutely, Google Scholar. So you can look up case laws
Hmm.
that way. So and,
Bro.
and it's very important. It's very important for them because you know, like this book right here, I'm trying to get it into the prisons to help people fight their cases.
Hmm.
Ain't
That's what
nothing,
I want to ask you.
yes, ain't nothing worse than being 34 years old and then like you're done gang banging, you're done with everything, and you literally have a kufi on and you Muslim
Hmm.
now, holier than thou. You're like, you know what? All right, I'm done with all the crazy stuff. Let me go
Hmm.
to that law library and look at some things. We just see what's going on.
Hmm.
And you read a book and say, wait, I could have came back home on that.
That's
Yeah, with
crazy.
that door closed, bro. I ain't nothing, that feeling right there is just different. Like, oh my gosh. So and nobody's really in the law library. The law library has spider webs on the books,
Hmm.
literally, because
You know what they say, man. If you want to keep a secret, the best way to do it is to put it in the book.
exactly.
You know.
Nobody's out there fighting their cases, man. Like you know, they're gang banging in prison,
Hmm.
okay, or they're gambling, or they're smoking something called K2.
Okay.
And K2 is that they smoke it, right? They fall on the floor and start twitching and foaming out the mouth. And
Mm.
dude standing next to him, like, yo, I want that same exact thing. Like,
The-
wait,
the-
you didn't
the-
just see him
you
almost die? Like, yo,
just-
that's how I know it's fire. I want the same thing he got.
that mental, man.
Yeah, it's real.
That is crazy.
So again, they're not in the law library. So
So
this is to bring awareness.
when did the book process start? Like, did you have the book idea while you was incarcerated, or did that hit you when you came home? And how did it all come together for you to get the book going?
Well, what happened was when I was in there, 3 months before they called me to classification, like I said, 3 months before that, I wrote a 5 year, like a 5 year. Where would I be in 5 years?
Hmm.
And I kind of wrote that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be an advocate for prisoners because from what I've seen in people all falsely incarcerated, especially something I went through. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try to be an advocate for people. I wrote that down. I wrote all that down, and then when I got out, I was supposed to actually tell my story, you know, because God helped me. It was through my faith, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and God told me I need to go tell my story. I never did. I just went, I went back to the streets doing stupid stuff and everything like that, you know. And eventually I was like, you know what, man, I'm tired of running. My life was just getting harder and harder. I said, I'm tired of running, you know. I'm going to go ahead and just do this now. So, I mean, I put the pen to the pad. I asked God, I said, God, if you help me write this, I'll write it. Because, I mean, I dropped out of school sixth grade. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
eighth grade
Wow.
over essays. You know, a 6-page essay.
And you self-published the book.
Yeah, 6-page essay. I dropped out. So I was like, you know what? And I said, God, you know, I don't like writing, but if you help me, I'll do it. And he helped me 3 years. It took me 3 years to write this.
To write this book.
Yes.
And just to be real with you, I was blessed to get probably one of the first copies.
Yeah.
Before it became the book, and I read it through because he was like, "Man, just let me know what you think."
Yeah.
And that's a great read. And anybody that knows me knows I'm a bookworm. I love to read. And when he gave me that, I was like, "Dog, you got something here."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
There's a lot of
appreciate that.
lessons in there. There's a lot of gems in
And
there.
it's called Legal Mail Window. The reason why it's called Legal Mail Window,
That's my next question.
it's
The name.
yeah, because you know, at 12 o'clock before we go to trial, they always say the following inmates line up for legal mail. Okay, and they call out a selected few names and everything. That's people that have filed motions, people that's putting things into the courts and everything like that. So after they finish eating, they line up to that window, the legal mail window. Okay, and if you look at it from a distance, you see all those people lined up. Everybody has a different feeling, a different story of what they're going through. And sometimes when it's raining, they have like books, black bags tied around their books.
Yeah.
And they're holding paperwork so they don't get wet, you know.
It's weird how the value of a book is so high in prison, and we out here in the free world have access to it and don't know the worth of it.
Absolutely. So just to see them, just to see that line and everything like that, everybody got it's just it's sombering, you know, just to see everybody. And I knew I was putting in paperwork also. So and where I slept at, I slept in A dorm. A dorm was kind of like diagonal from the legal mail window. Okay, I always knew I wasn't getting out through those gates. I'm not getting out in 15 years. I'm getting out through that window. You know, through paperwork through that window.
Through that window.
So that window became my best friend. I literally got it's like God was communicating with me through that window. So, you know, like, I mean, I laughed with it, cried with the window, just everything. Like, I ate, I'm eating, talking to a window, like, literally.
Wow.
Yeah, it became my best friend, that legal mail window.
Now, is there any time while you was writing the book that that PTSD moment kicked back and you had to step away from that for a little bit and be like,
Not really. No. No, it was prison is traumatizing, you know, but I mean, you just have to stay to yourself, you know. I mean, I don't recommend anybody go there, but you just, I don't recommend anybody go there.
You don't think it's
it's
not a good recommendation? Stay in school and be cool.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, I mean, when I came home though, I was knocking on the table after I ate. I was after I finished eating, I knocked on the table like this and get up. Like, what am I doing? I'm not in prison. Bro, I was putting my
still had the tendencies with you.
Absolutely.
How long did it take for you to break that?
Probably about like a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was also writing my DC number at the end of the envelope. Like, you know, I'm sending a letter out and I'm writing my DC number down. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not
Wait a
minute. What am I doing?
You said your social security, not.
Yeah. I mean, just to get back into trusting people and stuff like that. Like, it was weird.
That's a hard transition.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way a lot of people left me in there, man, like, no, I'm home now. Everybody's like, yo, Tribe, hey, what's up, Tribe? I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, man. On a handshake, man. Like, I'm not too cool like that, you know. They wasn't there, you know.
Dude, like looking at the system right now, man. What do you think is like the top? I'm gonna say the top 3 things you think need to change in this legal situation we in, like in society. Period.
Well, the legal sentencing, for one, you know, they be saying, you know, I mean, I don't have no factual basis on this, but I feel like the judges out here get commission. I mean, you got to, because it'd be the lightest thing. I mean, the sentencing doesn't match the crime. Yeah. They just give you all that time and it boosts their stocks up.
You doing 25 years for a piece of gum.
What you doing?
Just took a piece of gum from Walmart and
yeah, you 25 years.
25 years.
I got 15 years for bullets.
That's crazy.
Like, that's crazy.
For bullets, that wasn't yours.
Unheard of. Unheard of. But now, so legal sentencing, you know, people get sentenced illegally. You know, there's a lot of racism that stuff.
I was about to ask you, what role do you think race plays in that?
Put it this way. the jury, the ones that found me guilty for the bullets was an all-white jury. It wasn't a jury of my peers. According to Neal versus Slappy, you have to have a jury of your peers. Like, you have to have black, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have your age group, you gotta have a jury of your peers. There was nobody, everybody was 55 years old and older. And they found me guilty. They said, oh, we can't find him guilty of the cocaine, but we can find him guilty of the bullets. Yeah, it looks like somebody that carry guns. You know, like literally,
like no guns.
no guns. You know, he looked like somebody that carried bullets. So they again, so the race, you know, legal sentencing, and you know, just how they housing inmates. I mean, they just lock you up and like, you know, and they just keep on pushing your court dates back. You know, it's like they just leave you in there.
So
They gotta change all that. You know.
so in the system, do you think they provide the inmates with enough resources to be able to fight their case, or you think it's limited?
It's very limited.
Yeah.
Very limited. You know, because now you don't even have books in there now. Like now you have like computers. You have computers, and I guess they give you Westlaw. They give you Westlaw to look up your cases and everything like that. Okay. But it's still not enough. They need to be educated on how to use it. Right. They need to be educated.
And they don't. That's the thing about it. What they say. You're supposed to go to prison to get reformed. I think that's what they need to do while the guys are in there, educate them on what the laws are, what the cases are, and then when they come home, they'll know how to move in society. You know?
They have a lot of jailhouse lawyers in there also. I mean, they can provide services. The jailhouse lawyers, and it's funny with the jailhouse lawyers, right? They can get you out, but they can't get themselves out.
How is that?
Yeah, because they've exhausted all their remedies. They found every single
the motion they had. It's a cap on stuff while you in there that you're allowed to, and then
it's called throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the state. Pretty much you threw everything out there. Like there's nothing else. You know, I can't. So they can't get themselves out, but they get you out. So they're literally millionaires.
Crazy.
They're millionaires in there because you know
they get people sending them money.
Absolutely,
to represent
send them money to help them file their cases.
And they can't see a day out here. Though.
No, they spend $75 a week or $150 a week, just like me and you.
Wow.
So if I'm a bum and he's a millionaire, we're still the same.
Still the same.
Stay right across from each other, like yo. But the uniform is crispy though. You know, because they get the best
they get clean.
They clean, like you can see their haircut, you can see they're fresh. You know, but yeah. So the jailhouse lawyers, I mean, they'll help you. You know, they'll help you try to get up out of there.
Okay, so describe your mission and how your listeners could help you with this book.
Well, again, so the mission is to get these books to the inmates, all right, and try to give them hope. You know, through faith. You know, just let them know that never give up. You know, and so. For every book that you purchase, I send one every month. Every month I send a large quantity to the Gainesville Books for Prisoners.
Okay.
And then they distribute out to various prisons and stuff like that. You know.
That's what's up.
And then the mission is to get these books into the jails, into the prisons, and try to get it to everybody. Try to get them hope. You know, to fight. You know. Don't just go there and lay down. You know, you gotta fight.
Now, who do you plan to partner up with? Do you have anybody in mind that you're dealing with or talking to right now to actually like an organization or a nonprofit or anything like that you got going on?
At this exact time, we're talking to the ACLU and also to jeez, it's crazy. Hold on, man. Hold on.
We'll circle back to it.
Yeah,
we'll circle back to it. We'll circle back to it.
Why is my brain frying right now?
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So, what's next for you, though? Besides putting it out there, do you plan on doing more writing, speaking, and working on justice reform in any other ways besides the book?
Absolutely, yes. I'm trying to go into the jails, you know, talk to the inmates, you know. Try to get a funding right now, try to provide inmates with, you know, try to get a funding going on, you know, where we could like have more resources for the inmates and stuff like that. And try to help people that don't have the money for lawyers and try to help them out, you know.
We have it scrolling on the bottom of the screen, but how can your listeners support
Innocence Project?
The Innocence Got it. 20 minutes later.
How you
ding?
How I forget them though? Of all people, the Innocence Project. And you know what else is crazy about the whole situation? You know, we have a friend that we lost. You know.
Oh man.
October
Leon.
22nd. Yeah, Leon. You know,
Leon.
the Innocence Project actually got him. He did 17 years for, he was wrongly convicted.
Mm-hmm.
He did 17 years. He got out. You know,
Yeah.
we was hanging with him,
Mm-hmm.
and he decided to go to Georgia where he wanted to, like, you know, try
Start
to grow
over.
up, start all over
Yeah.
in Georgia. And he went to Georgia, and then within weeks of him being there, you know, a traffic stop, the
With
cop
his
killed
life.
him.
Yeah.
The cop killed him in a
Yeah.
traffic stop. So,
And,
you
and
know,
and I was reading the other day, a cop walked.
yeah, he walked. Yeah, he
Yeah.
walked on that.
They
So
said
I
it was
mean, also they're
justifiable.
trying to get justice for him.
Yeah.
They're trying to get justice for him.
Is
You
there a
know,
podcast in the future?
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, it's called Bars and Letters. Yeah,
Bars and letters.
it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. So
It's coming soon. Absolutely.
we got on the bottom of the screen the avenues you could actually
Social
support
media.
social media, but you can go ahead and just let people know where they
Well,
can find you.
absolutely. My Facebook is Legal Mail Window. Instagram legal_mail_window official. The GoFundMe Hope Behind Bars. And on Cash App Tribe TRIBEB. Yeah, and all streaming platforms. The book Legal Mail Window. Get yours today.
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 Well, my brother, man, it was nice sitting down with you, bro.
Absolutely, I appreciate
We
you
definitely
having me.
gonna do a follow-up episode
Mm-hmm.
to answer the questions in the comments. So you guys, whatever questions you have, let us know. If you are part of an organization that has a nonprofit, you're a grant writer, and you want to help this brother out, please hit me in my DMs. Let everybody know. Send me a text, whatever. If you know me personally, send me a text, and I'll direct you to the tribe's information. But if you watch this, like I said, it's scrolling down the bottom of the screen.
Oh yeah, we have a book signing coming up in May too.
Oh
At
yeah,
the Barnes and Nobles. Yes.
Barnes and Nobles
In
out in Jensen Beach.
Chester Beach, Florida.
What time
Absolutely.
is that? May what?
We don't know yet. We're still in the process of getting that together.
Okay. So when you get the date, we'll put it on,
Okay.
and
Yeah, on the bottom of the screen.
we're gonna pop up at the we're gonna show up anyway.
Absolutely.
You give me the date.
You guys do.
They posting up. Shit.
Post up.
Yeah.
Try to
They
get
posting
books
up
out
because
there, you know?
yeah. No, we got to get these books moving, man. It's
Absolutely.
like with us being us with movements like this, I'm seeing people support way less than that. If you on social media,
Mhm.
I've seen things get 1K view just for a dude that can't jump 2 feet in the air. That shit crazy. But it's supposed to be a motivational part of that. So that's what it is. But with me, I'm gonna go ahead and push this project right here, man, because it's you could bring a lot of people home.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You could bring a lot of people
Got
home.
to.
I'm not
Legal Mail Window.
legal
The
mail window.
The autobiography. Absolutely.
True story. So
Barnes and Nobles.
is there another book in the way? You gonna keep writing?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm working on another book right now. Actually, you know,
Book.
because the whole mission really is to, you know, I wanna try to get like a bunch of people that have also been through like the same thing I went through, you know, and write about them.
It is funny when I read the book,
Hmm.
I actually saw a film. Like if you read the book, you would visualize everything, and you could see a film made out of this book. Just the way he got the context and the way he got it laid out, the organization of the book. It's like he wrote a movie at the same time as he wrote the book, letter for letter.
Yeah, it's pretty direct. You know, I wanted everybody to actually understand, like, I mean, just make it as simple as possible. You know what I mean, you could actually kind of feel the emotions that I was going through everything, through the whole process, from, you know, the raid all the way through jail and all the way to me coming home.
See, one wise man just told me a few minutes ago, less is more sometimes, my friend. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, man, I want to say thank you, bro,
Thank you for having
for
me.
coming through.
I appreciate
And
that.
we're gonna see each other again, dog. We're gonna do a lot of work together, man. So go ahead,
Bars and Letters, the podcast coming soon.
say that again.
Bars and Letters, the podcast coming soon.
I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Deuces.